What's up, my comic comrades? Today we cover the first issue of Marvel's Dark Ages 6-issue miniseries, written by one of my favorite writers, the great Tom Taylor. The man has done amazing work on titles like Injustice, Nightwing, Deceased, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Batman Detective, Star Wars, Suicide Squad, and the list goes on. And his latest outing is the aforementioned Dark Ages Limited Series, which is the latest crossover event for Marvel Comics. And like the title of this episode makes clear, in the first issue of Dark Ages, Taylor kills off not one, not two, not three, but 4 Avengers. And I'm not talking C or D-list Avengers, we're talking about A-listers here. So the title is not clickbait. Tom Taylor was out to make a statement with this issue. But before we dive in, we want to thank Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's episode. Raid is an amazing fantasy RPG where you use hundreds of artifacts to equip and develop over 600 champions, each with unique skills, then raid your way against bosses, dungeon runs, campaign battles, PvP arena matches, and much more. And right now you can use our links in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to download Raid on your phone or PC. We've said it many times before, but summoning, collecting, and developing champions is our favorite part of Raid. And we're pretty excited because Raid just released this brand new limited edition legendary champion named Ninja after the incredibly popular gaming personality. Come on, that dude just looks dope. And the good news is that everyone can get the new legendary champion for free right now. But like I said, this is a limited edition champion, so he'll only be available until October 15th. So you want to download the game and grab Ninja before he's gone. On top of that, this month Raid also released a huge new Doom Tower update. There are 2 new huge bosses to take on, Astronyx the Dark Fae and Bommel the Dreadhorn. Along with new enemy balance on tower floors, new secret rooms to discover, and most importantly, new artifact sets to win. If that's not enough, the whole month is packed with a bunch of great events and tournaments, including an event with a brand new feature, Super Raids. Super Raids lets you double up your rewards from hitting dungeons and massively speeds up your progress, which is particularly amazing for new players. So don't wait, use our link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to download Raid Shadow Legends now and get the limited edition champion Ninja for free. And as an added bonus, all new players will get the epic hero Kanoru from the dope Shadowkin faction, as well as 200k silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard so you can summon another awesome champion as soon as you get inside of the game. And once you do get in, all of these rewards are going to be waiting for you right here for the first 30 days. So click our link and we'll see you there. Now let's find out what Marvel heroes get offed in Dark Ages issue 1. The comic starts off in New Jersey with Spider-Man narrating, saying it was a Friday. It was a lot easier to keep track of days back then, just a regular Friday afternoon catch-up. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Danny, and some pizza. Mary Jane, while holding a pizza, then says, "Peter Parker, our daughter is on the ceiling again." He just looks at her while eating pizza saying, "Yeah?" She's like, "Are you okay with that?" And he tells her, "I mean, May is not gonna fall. What's the worst that could happen?" Jessica Jones interrupts saying, she could put her hand in a light socket? Peter responds saying, "Thanks for the input, Jess." She says, "Sorry, I investigate all deaths." Anyway, Peter then jumps on the ceiling to get his daughter down and says, "Hey, Angel, time to get..." But before he can finish his sentence, his spider sense goes off, and it's so strong, it physically hurts him. Peter's narrations go on to say the spiders felt it first. We felt the danger coming so strongly, it physically hurt. As we see elsewhere, Miles and Gwen's spider sense are also going off, giving them extreme pain. Back at the apartment, we see May's spider sense also going off, continue to hurt her and her father. As Peter continues to narrate, saying, "I felt a strong spider sense before, like when Galactus was approaching, but this was worse. So much worse. It wasn't like the Devourer of Worlds was coming to eat the planet, it was like he already took a big bite." Which was about right. Peter's narrations continue to tell us elsewhere in an underground laboratory across town, a warning system pinged. Moon Girl's mind raced ahead of the problem, saw the pattern that no one else could see yet. She then got on her computer saying, "Oh no," summoning her devil dinosaur. Peter's captions go on to tell us moments later Moon Girl was racing through New York on her dinosaur, the world's smartest person on her way to the Baxter building to talk to the world's second smartest person. The strongest minds on the planet then come online as we see Jean Grey telepathically connect to Charles, asking if he feels it. He responds, "I feel it, Jean. A mind has awoken, unlike any I felt before." Now let me just pause for a second because Salty Arris has to come out and play for a bit. Let me start with saying I have nothing against Moon Girl. I actually really like the character. She's adorable, funny, and rides a giant red T-Rex. That's amazing. But I'm salty that this relatively new character, who has only been around for 6 years, is officially the smartest character in Marvel Comics as deemed by Marvel Comics themselves. When we all know it should be Reed Richards. It was Richards for decades until Marvel just decided one day he wasn't. Don't get me wrong, I'm all about new characters and moving forward. It's the only way comics and any form of media for that matter can continue to grow. But you have to earn your stripes first. Show us why through several stories, what makes this character the best at that particular thing. Now some of you may be saying she's been around for 6 years. That's not new. They could have told a lot of stories to justify how she's the smartest person in those 6 years. And you're right, they could have, but they didn't. She was deemed the smartest character in the Marvel Universe out the gate. which therein lies my issue. All I'm saying is make a character smarter than Reed Richards if you want, but show us why said character is smarter gradually over time. I mean, the reason we accepted Reed as the smartest person in the Marvel Universe is because we've seen countless examples over decades of stories showing us why and how he's the smartest character in the Marvel Universe. Not to mention, this also bumps every other character in the Marvel Universe down a notch, like Dr. Doom, Tony Stark, and so on and so forth. But I'll stop my salty rant and get back to the issue. I'm just a big Fantastic Four fan, and they're doing my boy Reed Richards dirty. Also, I'm not blaming Tom Taylor. All he's doing is playing with the cards dealt to him. Tom, I love you. Anyway, back to the issue. We then see Peter say one extremely strong mind went further. Apocalypse. He was a cyberpath, and in general, he was just bad news. His mind touched something old and powerful, and he craved more. As we see Apocalypse say, yes, I hear you. Back at the apartment, Luke Cage asks Peter Parker, what's happening? He responds, I don't know, Luke, it's spider sense. It's pretty clear on the impending doom, but it's always been frustratingly vague on the details. All I know is something very, very bad is about to happen. I need to see Reed and Sue. And with that, he says bye to MJ and his daughter, web swinging his way through the city to Reed and Sue. Back at the Baxter building, Johnny Storm tells Reed, hey man, you got some visitors. There's a dinosaur parked in the lobby. Captions of Spider-Man tell us the first tremors were felt in New York at midnight. We then see Reed meet with Moon Girl, and she tells him the tremors aren't consistent with tectonic plate shifts. The quakes are too short. Reed then says, while looking at her hologram, they look like impact tremors. But it can't be on the surface. We'd know. This is coming from deep. Moon Girl then tells him, we're being attacked from the inside of the Earth. Reed Richards' daughter, Val, then says, I think the world is ending. And as another tremor happens, Uatu, aka the Watcher, arrives before them saying, yes, the world is ending. This is what I've been watching for. The Earth has hours. At which point he tells the Fantastic Four the bad news, saying 10 billion years ago, a living machine was created. It was made to protect the universe, to stop entropy in its tracks, to consume black holes. But over a millennia, feeding on so much darkness changed the being, corrupted it at its core. The Unmaker was tainted and wild, and began to unmake everything. The living machine unmade worlds and entire galaxies, until finally, this intergalactic menace was challenged and beaten by the living tribunal. The machine contained too much power to destroy, so the Unmaker was put to sleep and imprisoned in the center of a newly formed world, Earth. But now this long dormant living machine is waking. When it wakes to its full power, it will crack open the planet and unmake this world and beyond. At which point Thing says, so we need to put it down. And Johnny Storm says, you said that with a lot of conviction, Ben. Do you have any idea how we do that? We then see the Fantastic Four and Spidey form a team, with Spidey saying, we came up with an idea for how to do that. The greatest thinkers on the planet put our heads together and decided we had to take the threat on directly. So we assembled a strike team, the Vision, a living machine to fight a living machine, the Scarlet Witch, a shaper of reality to fight against a being who could unmake it, Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme to fight the pinnacle of technology, the Invisible Woman to protect them from the heat of the Earth's core, and the Thing, in case anything could be solved by hitting really hard. And with the strike team assembled, they said their goodbyes and stepped through a portal, carrying their final hopes to the center of the world. And on the next page, we see them come face to face with the Unmaker. But guess what? The machine or Unmaker didn't pay them any attention at all. It just kept trying to break open the world to escape, causing the lands above to collapse like Nepal and Canada. But it wasn't just the surface. They made waves under the seabed and cracked it open. And the King of the Sea was powerless to stop Atlantis from being swallowed by the Earth. The only place that was momentarily safe was Wakanda, a nation built on a bedrock of vibranium. Spider-Man continues to narrate the issue, saying, across the worlds, heroes came together to save all they could. The X-Men, the Avengers, the Runaways, and Champions. As the world fell apart, heroes tried to keep it together. And at the center of the Earth, I wish I could tell you, a battle raged. But it wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. As we see the Thing jump towards the machine to clobber him, but he's disintegrated by a blast mid-air, killing him before he could even touch the Unmaker. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Thing was just killed, and this isn't an alternate reality. This is the main 616 universe. Crazy. But it doesn't stop there. We've got 3 more deaths to go. Captions of Spider-Man then say the Scarlet Witch attempted to reshape reality, but despite still waking to its full powers, the Unmaker simply unmade everything she tried to do. And then it unmade Wanda, as we see her evaporate into nothing, all Infinity War style. Yup, one of Marvel's biggest powerhouses was literally unmade into nothing before our and Vision's eyes. Which I still can't get over that one. I mean, the Scarlet Witch can literally reshape reality to however she wants, and she was just vaporized, like nothing, gone. But we're only halfway through with these deaths, friends, because at this point, a pissed off Vision, buying the Earth vital seconds, flies straight into the Unmaker's head, sacrificing himself, hopefully, to save the world, giving us death number 3. At this point, Spider-Man's captions say, with the ground being unmade around them, Sue Storm defended against the Unmaker's powers. She was able to hold on to a small pocket of reality. But she tells Strange, I can't hold it much longer. At which point, Spider-Man tells us in desperation, Doctor Strange reached out to other realities for anything he could use against the Unmaker, and he found a weapon. He opened a portal to a dimension where no electricity could function. An electromagnetic pulse beat at the heart of this realm. At this point, the Unmaker, the electrical being that he is, realized what was happening and lashed out. As we see him break through Sue's force field impaling Doctor Strange through the chest, with captions of Spider-Man saying, as the Unmaker killed Doctor Strange, the EMP did its job. It halted the Unmaker. That's right, Tom Taylor also just killed off Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme himself. See? I wasn't lying. 4 A-listers. Dead. The Thing, Scarlet Witch, The Vision, and Doctor Strange. Crazy. I'm so curious to see where this goes. Because I mean, they can't keep these characters dead forever, or can they? They can't, but still nuts. Anyway, with Strange's dying breath, he says, "It's okay, we did it. Live, Sue." And with his last act, Doctor Strange sends Sue away, but with his death, the portal stayed open. Spider-Man tells us the constant EMP wave grew and encompassed the entire planet and beyond, sending the Earth into darkness. The sky literally began to fall, as we see panels of Iron Man and Ant-Man's devices fail, as well as devices that keep hearts beating and artificial life fail. We also learn that Spider-Man's web shooters stop working as they're controlled by electronics. As we see Spider-Man's web shooters malfunction and him fall to the ground saying, "I was trying to get back to MJ and May. As I fell, I saw my building and our home fall too. I never should have left them." Staring at the building, he then screams, "MJ, May!" Jessica Jones and Luke Cage then help him dig through the rubble, but to his surprise, on the next page, we see May use her spider strength to lift up the rubble, revealing her and MJ are still alive. MJ then says, "Hey there, Tiger." Peter, with tears in his eyes, says, "Hey there, Mary Jane." We are then finally brought back to the present, where we see Peter Parker telling someone all of this while he's wearing steampunk-like web shooters, saying 7 years ago, the world we knew ended. We built another one, a world to be proud of, but years after the lights went out, after the end, came the apocalypse. And on the final page, we see Apocalypse, a Venom-looking Miles Morales, a steampunk-looking Iron Man, a crazy-looking Beast, and more approach Peter. Wow, guys, what can I say? This was a fantastic start to a brand new series. Like always, Tom Taylor did not disappoint. And leave it to the guy who wrote the Injustice comics and Deceased to kill 4 A-lister characters in the first issue of this Marvel series. Crazy, just freaking crazy. Now, while I said earlier this was in the main 616 universe, that is true, but this kind of seems like it's more of a possible future story. So now that the Earth is set where the Earth has been put into darkness, several heroes are dead, and electricity is a thing of the past, and Apocalypse is apparently running things or trying to run things, I'm very curious to see where this story goes. So I love the first issue, but let us know what you guys think in the comments. First up, for the week of September 22nd, we have King Spawn issue 2. One of the most vile and horrific villains in the Spawn mythology returns, Billy Kincaid. Now simply called Kincaid, but his new campaign to murder is more than it seems. Here we have The Flash issue 774, introducing Dr. Nightmare. Bad dreams come to life and lead to chaos on the streets of Central City. On the same night, the fastest man alive attends a daddy-daughter dance. Next, we have Batman issue 113. Ghostmaker reveals a dark revelation about his past connection to Jonathan Crane, while Batman puts together the pieces of Scarecrow's master plan. Using the Insanity Collective's technology, the villains plan to detonate the fear bomb in Gotham City. And finally, we have Tmnt Ronin issue 4. With a few key allies, the Ronin takes on the greatest risk yet to infiltrate Baxter Stockman's Tech Island. What happened many years ago to set the Ronin on the quest for vengeance? Find out in this action-packed issue. And that's gonna bring today's episode of Variant to a close. But if you like today's episode, check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, comment, like, and subscribe. It helps the channel out. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.